Hello and welcome viewers. Tonight we have the Uongozini show, and with me today we have Honorable Sabina Chege, the nominated MP, the Chief Whip, Jubilee Party at the National Assembly, and today we are looking at the power of a woman leader. For many days and many seasons, we've talked about the issues about women leadership. But today I want us to look at the positive of having a woman leader. Yes, even as we look at the challenges of a woman leader, today I want us to focus on the positives of a woman leader. And therefore tonight we have our guest who is prepared. Most of us know her. Very fire-blazing, vibrant leader. And today I wish to welcome you, Honorable Sabina Chege. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, SG.
Yes, good. Now, you have a new law, the whip, Chief Whip. So how are you faring with the new position?
I'll just say it's through God's grace, and I'm humbled, and it's God who keeps on surprising me, that's what I would say. It has been a long journey.
Good.
That was not the expected result, though it was our prayer as a Jubilee Party. Since the elections of last year, August, and the outcome, I was a very strong as a Mio supporter.
Sure, yeah.
And we went through that mourning process. You know, every loss is the same.
Yeah.
When you lose an election, it's the same way when you lose a beloved one. The losses are the same, and people mourn differently. There are people who mourn quickly and move on. There are people who stay for a long time there, waiting. There are people also who takes a long time. And I think those are the kind of characters we even have in this country. There are people who lost, whether it's a position of an MCA, an MP, governors, senator, women rep, all the way to the presidency.
Yeah.
There are people who accepted and moved on. Some have gone back to their businesses. Others are still hoping this can be repeated.
Yeah.
Others are still negotiating and looking for options.
Okay.
But for me, it was difficult because one, I did not vie for my position. I've been elected in Murang'a County for 2 terms as a woman rep. And I would even say even today, the Murang'a people don't hate me, they love me. I didn't go to ask for a position, they rejected me, so I still walk with my head high. And I thank God for the opportunity I was given for 10 years. Those are 2 terms to serve. It's not easy to be elected and re-elected again. It takes God's hand.
Good.
And so when we lost with Azimio, you know, I was among the principals. I was among the people who were also shortlisted for the deputy presidency position. You know, that's why I told you, God keeps on surprising me, which was also again not expected. And when we decided we would support my sister, Mother Karua, we went on, we fought. And I would say we fought a good fight.
Good.
A fight that saw me get very sick, being admitted in hospital for more than 13 days.
Oh.
A journey that also saw me get into very bad books with IBC. I was actually taken to court, and we were in IBC. Actually, that case was ended last month.
Okay.
Where I was at the IBC, where the courts ruled that I didn't have any case to answer against IBC, where I lost many friends who are my very good friends, where I also made new friends.
You're right.
I was able to go throughout the country. I was able to, because I did a national campaign. But there are people also that I disappointed a lot. There are people who are my friends, and because of politics, they felt disappointed.
Right.
And also the people that maybe we worked together, and some say, because you have taken this stand, will not. But I chose as a woman leader, and also as a leader who had been there before, and a leader who aspires that maybe in the days to come I can also rise to a bigger position. That I was to respect my party leader, who was the former president. We stood with him. And he gave us a candidate. That was not our candidate, he gave us. We respected his decision. Some of our very close friends decided no way, we would not, and they left us.
You're right.
So it was a tough journey. And from the central, the Mount Kenya region, giving 0-point-something votes to the former Prime Minister. And this time we got around 13%. Actually, it's almost 17% there, with 800,000 votes. That was not a mean achievement.
Right.
So when we lost, and we sat down and said, so what's next? There were some plans that were short plans, long plans. But then when we were just healing, then one day we woke up and we were told we are going to the streets. And so for me, one of the reasons why when everybody left the former president and didn't leave is because I believe in peace of this nation.
Okay.
And so many people didn't support handshake. I supported handshake because the former president told us, I'm not doing this for myself. He even told us, I'm not doing this because I have a political deal with the prime minister or the former prime minister. I'm doing this for the sake of the peace of this nation. So when we walked through that path, then it would have been very ridiculous for me to actually go out and say, now I will start demonstrations because we have not agreed that the current president won and his team. And you know, one of the hopes, and the hopes we're hanging on is when we were to go to when we went to Supreme Court. We thought maybe it would be a rerun, or you know, we are going to be declared we won.
Yeah.
Which didn't happen, and our former president went and handed over instruments of power. So then I was, come on, I am a mother, I am a person who, and I would say people, a majority of young girls look upon me.
Exactly.
So if I'll go and tell them I don't recognize there's a president in this country, and my president, my former president, is the one who handed over instruments of power, then that would be really a mockery. And so I chose not to go to the streets, and I remember I went for a funeral at home. And so I told people, well, we were defeated. For me, I've accepted and I've moved on, and I will not go to the streets. That, of course, didn't go very long, well with many people.
You're right.
And the people on our side. So it has been a journey. I've been called names.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
And I think you've mentioned something that when you lose in an election, you go through grieving because of the loss.
Yes, we do.
Now, do you think the church is doing enough? Does the church understand that kind of a loss? So that these are our members. You are a member of a church.
Yes.
How did your pastor, your church handle that?
I would
Did
say,
they understand?
Unfortunately, there's a very thin line between the church and the politicians and the politics of the country. Because people take side. And I can say last election was one election that the church fully participated. And the church fully showed the face of where they wanted to be. And also, unfortunately, if you remember, even when the whole thing happened and the inauguration, the church fully participated.
Was it good?
I would say because that was their stand, they stood with their stand. But the church also, what quickly they would have done. You know, when you say about the reconciliation, the church would have come out with the voice of reconciliatory, you know, and saying, those who have won, you have won, but win, celebrate with a lot of humility, because it is God, and I can say it is God who gave you the victory. It was not because you are smarter than, or you had the best ideas, or because if you look at our manifestos, almost all of them are the same. It's only that we would tweak this way and the other way, but people and what they promise Kenya is almost similar. So that issue of reconciliation, maybe that's where the church did not fully come in, because also the people in the church are also human beings. They were also celebrating.
So the church started celebrating instead of
looking at, hey, they are also almost half of the other part of the population that was grieving. And we needed to come together and say, now listen, if you have lost, accept, and the ones who have won, start bringing in the people who were not with you, bring them close. Because I normally say, and this is something people need to understand, is that politics is not enmity.
You're right.
That is why you saw when the king came last week in Kenya, you saw the former prime minister in State House.
You're right.
So who would have expected he would go? That means by the time he went, he recognizes that there is a presidency and there is the legal way. Our prayer, and why I'm very happy today, is that when I said I'm not going to the streets, I said I would wish that there was dialogue. And you know, with time, it manifested itself. In whichever way it passed, whether there was pull and push, but finally, there are people talking about Kenya and talking about what went wrong, what can be done better next time. Because you see, if we start, and this has been a culture in Kenya, not even in Kenya, in Africa, where people, when they lose, they don't accept. What are you telling us? You're also telling the MCA who lost that you should not accept. The MP who lost that you should not accept. And of course, there is a channel that is very clear that if you feel that you are mistreated, which is, there's a possibility of mistreatment, or you feel that it was not fair, go to court.
You're right.
And there's a system.
Yeah, we have systems.
So that is what should be carried on. And you see, if we then don't accept losing.
But I thought we went to court and the court...
Exactly. The court pronounced itself. Whether we agreed or not, that was another story.
Yeah.
Or that's a story for another day. But you see, what are we then telling our children? There was an exam. So if you have not performed well, do you want to say
no?
Nilionewa? You know? What are we saying? So even in a relationship, so if a young man asks for a girl and the girl says no, and are you telling that girl, that young man, kill the girl because she has said no? Or beat her up? Because it has, I would say, a ripple effect. We might see it casually like it's politics, but it also has a ripple effect on the entire society. And that's why I thank God that there's a conversation. And finally, I was de-whipped from being a deputy minority whip. Because the Azimio people felt like I was not representing their interest. But the truth is, Azimio, there was Jubilee, there was Wiper, there was ODM, which are the main parties, and Jubilee is party number 2. So with the Wiper being number 3, and so I was fully there whipping the Jubilee members. And when we felt that we don't agree, we wrote to the Speaker and asked the Speaker that we are recognized as a parliamentary party, because what the Constitution says or what the law says, even our standing orders in Parliament, if a party has more than 18 members, they can be recognized by the Speaker. So why I said it was a blessing last week in disguise, when the Speaker, there were people who had gone to court. I never went to court. There were people who had gone to court to challenge the decision to remove me because they felt I was being treated unfairly. But when the court sent us back, to go to the tribunal, these people rushed Parliament and said, no, we said we don't want Sabina. Then the Speaker said, fine. If you guys cannot agree, I will grant you the position. Then they took away the position of deputy minority whip. But immediately after, he said Jubilee had written, more than 21 members out of 28 had already written to say that they would want to be an independent parliamentary party. So he declared us as an independent parliamentary party, and that made me a whip.
Congratulations.
So thank you. So it made me now even to be in a better position. You know, in my mother tongue, we normally say when somebody was wishing you will fall on a stone, you fell on a mattress. That's what happened to me last week. But I thank God, and I accepted it in humility. I would be whipping the Jubilee members. We are hoping the many court cases that have been going on and on, from the other people who have taken us to court for the decision we made, that they will end. Because finally we would want to build our party. We are not associated with Kenya Kwanza or Azimio. We would want to be an independent parliamentary party for the sake of Kenyans, for the sake of talking on behalf of the people we represent. Where things are good, we will encourage good work. Where things are bad, we will talk about it. And we'll speak it out because we are there to represent Kenyans in Parliament.
Thank you. Keep it here. This is CAC TV. Remember, our SMS number is 011 220 044. We are also on Facebook at CAC TV and also on X. Here we have Honorable Sabina Chege, and yes, you heard her political journey and the position as it is. Yes, even as we continue to celebrate the weather as it is, Honorable Sabina has been able to tell us about her political career. But can you tell us about your political journey? You seem to have joined politics while very young.
Yes.
And as a woman, how is that?
It's tough. I would say I joined the politics when I was below 35 years of age. And so it was not an easy journey. It is a journey that I've walked, bringing up my family with young children. I've seen my daughter go to college. So today I'm on my 11th year in politics. It has not been easy, I can tell you, and especially for a woman. If a man puts the effort 20%, a woman you have to put 50%. It is a career that is for the people who are very hard skin. Because you'll hurt very easily.
Yeah.
You lose friends very easily. You're going to be betrayed by the closest friends, the people you thought you would drink together, you would eat together. The people who knew you, who knows your deep secrets, are the first ones who betray you. So for a woman, and a family woman also, it's not very easy. But through God's grace, we have managed. The beauty and the why we keep on pursuing it further. And I know somebody who does that. It's because the impact I've had with the orphans, with the old people, you know, most vulnerable people in the society. I have a foundation that I take many children to school. I build a new secondary school from ground up to the upper level. It is actually a journey that I would say has been a very beautiful journey. Looking at the negatives and the positives, I would say the positives are more than the negatives. And lessons, you keep on learning every day.
Yeah, thank you so much. That is Sabina, Honorable Sabina Chege. The rain here is giving us a lot. So we take a short break, then we return so that we hear of our highs and lows in politics. Thank you. Keep it up here at CAP TV. John Maxwell once said, "A reader is the one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way." Simply put, readership is all about vision and influence. Join me, Robert Waihenya Goge, the Secretary General of the Presbyterian Church of East Africa, every first Monday of the month from 8 p.m. as we microscopically look at the reality, specificity, and simplicity of leadership only on CAC TV. Specificity.
Uongozini, a show by the leader, for the leader.
We used to ride on a bicycle with him to go particularly in Yambala and there to serve Holy Communion, even go to church. And one time he asked me, "Dad, you only give bread only to the adults, why don't you give children?" When those experiences that we went through with him and other things now, we did not expect that he would like the ministry. With all those transfers and the struggles we used to go. But we possibly God was preparing him for that ministry.
Take a minute, face the camera and give a word of advice to the active ministers.
It's okay. And one of the things I would advise them, it is to prepare and to make yourself available to preach the word of God. And speak the truth of the word of God. We're given and gathering people from all over, but a kind of message is not a bit prepared. So preparing for the word of God and how God is going to use you. The way the worship is now in the church, we have borrowed so much. We have lost our tradition, and I don't see a very orderly worship in our churches. We need the liturgy back to church. We don't have an order. Let's try to see that we have ordered our traditions. We are back to them. We don't borrow so much. Yeah, we can compare, yes, and borrow leave. But we know we are church with a theology and tradition. And we are losing this. We are losing this.
The second theological conference organized by TE Department is taking place from 7th to 10th November 2023 under the theme Sound Theology for Safety Society. The conference will be open